Hello and welcome to the Breathing Room. I'm Rita, your host. I'm a yoga meditation coach and a nutritionist. And on this show, we talk about M&M, 3 pillars for a healthy, long life: mind, nutrition, and movement. We will have practical advice, all backed by science, that you can use in your everyday life. Today on our show, I'm so happy to welcome Dimple Somji, a passionate social entrepreneur and is the visionary behind With Love Charitable Foundation. And as the founder of this NGO, she is the voice to amplify the struggles of the marginalized. She's a social community creator, and she's shaping trends, but also influencing perspectives, decisions, and perhaps societal shifts. Her journey is marked by relentless dedication, breaking barriers, and her unwavering belief in a higher power. For Dimple, there's no glass ceiling, just limitless possibilities. And I'm so happy to welcome her. Dimple, thank you for being here. So
it's an honor, honestly.
So let's talk about what inspired you to start being a social media influencer. Tell us about your journey.
Okay, so the first thing I would like to say is I do not want to be associated as an influencer.
Okay.
I think this word in Pune especially carries a lot of different meanings and a lot of different opinions and perspectives. I would call myself a social community creator. And the more I stick to this term, the more I stick to my objective, why I'm here. I think it was fate that brought me into this field. COVID happened. A lot of people explored their passions, cooking and things like this. And I had friends who always told me that, you can really bring forth stories of people. And why don't you explore that? Why don't you use your platform to be the voice for others? And I was very hesitant. And when COVID happened, I'm like, okay, let's give this a try. If it doesn't work, I'll go back to making my profile private. So I went public with my profile at that time. The other reason I also said it's okay to do that is because I've always been into yoga. I don't teach, but I said, I can put up yoga videos, I can put up yoga tips, and now people are finally sitting at home. So they don't really have an excuse as to not wanting to do yoga. In fact, that time everyone was
during COVID,
it.
Right?
During
okay.
COVID, yeah. So I said, okay, I'll talk more about yoga. I was practicing yoga with my daughter who was just like 6 or 7 at that point. So everybody loved this whole mother-daughter combination. I had eyeballs. I had people who were approaching me to do a live session for the small groups that they have. Even Phoenix Market City told me to do a session for their clients. So I realized this was working very well for me. I'm getting to talk about wellness and yoga. I'm getting to make a little difference. And I'm also getting to test the waters. Am I comfortable going public or am I not?
Okay.
And that time I was also playing a lot of family games to occupy myself. And I know a lot of people were dealing with mental health that time, right? So they kept saying that watching those games really inspired them.
Oh.
It also made them feel a little light, a little happier. And then they were doing those games back.
These are your little family games?
My family games with my daughter, daughter and husband. Another cousin joined in, so we were doing such sweet stuff that people were like, okay, this is a great idea. I'm going to replicate this because now I'm stuck with my family as well,
Yeah, it's a good way to uplift people, especially at that time.
Yes, and without really bringing it in their face, okay, let's do this. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
And people who are watching are like, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do it too.
Okay.
And then they would reach out to me on DMs and, ask me more questions, ask me more games, ask me something to do with yoga, something to do with wellness. How can I better this? And then I started realizing this is impactful. This comes from a good space. This is reaching the right people. And I stuck on. And that's how I just stuck on in keeping my profile public.
So Yoga and Fairy Life is her handle.
Yes.
So Yoga Fairy is your daughter? How does that?
Oh, no. So yeah, cute though. But so I knew yoga essentially is going to be the base of everything. And I don't mean only yoga on the mat. Yoga is a mindset, and I feel it has completely changed who I am, 360 degrees. It's the biggest anchor of my life. It's the blessing of my life, So I knew yoga as a part of my handle for sure. And then I said, okay, besides yoga, what do I do in life? And the answer was like everything I do and everything that I get, I look at it as a blessing. Even if it's a failure, even if it's a low point in life, it has led to something good. So I said that, I actually have so much gratitude for what I have, the kind of life I've been given, the kind of people I've been given, that I know that God's given me a fairy life.
Oh.
So I'm going to talk about yoga, and everything else I talk about is my fairy life. It's a blessing. Even if I talk about failures, even if I talk about downfalls, it is a blessing. And that's how I coined the term yoga and fairy life.
Oh, that's cute. That's wonderful, actually. It's a good way to
look at things.
Yeah, good way to look at things.
Yeah.
But how did you, so that was during COVID. You have more than 60,000 followers and
Today.
growing.
Yes.
Yes, today.
Yes.
And it's growing.
Yes.
And so how did you build the brand and how did you keep it going? And yeah, tell us about your day, like a typical day.
Wow. The amount of thought you've put into this question, I've not even put that much thought into the field of social media creation, you know. I think I work very detached, and that has been going in my favor. I don't get over attached with numbers. I don't get over attached with algorithms. I don't get over attached with engagement and reach, because that's not my intent only. You know, the intent for getting public was so different. My thing was yoga, and then I knew that, okay, there are a lot of brands in Pune that need a voice. I can speak well, I can story tell. What's holding me back? You know, so I wanted to go literally vocal for local. Literally, that was my thing. And the intent was so different. The space I was coming from was so different that all this doesn't matter. What is this journey? How are you going to do it? What is the day in your life? I do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, it does not upset me. You know, because I know I'm doing it for the right reason. I keep asking myself, am I doing this for the right reason? Am I associated with this brand for the right reason? Because there are brands I have said no to. There are brands that I have had an experience first and then actually again said no to. You know, so I don't promote just anything. I'm very, very particular about what I'm saying, what I'm promoting. People see how many brands I'm associated with today, but they actually don't know how many brands I've said no to.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why this was a very conscious effort, also because I received certain DMs which said, we really trust the brand you promote. We really buy from the brand you promote. We really eat at the place you promote. And it made me then realize this is a very powerful space to be and a very responsible space to be. I cannot take this lightly, you know. So the intent is right, the objective is right. Now my audience is telling me how they perceive me, how they look at me. And I wanted to be very responsible about it.
You're one of the few.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say few, but so many are not responsible. So it's so refreshing.
Yeah, see,
You know, I can trust whatever you put up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Because that's how I found you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. First of all, see, because you just said that statement that there are so many that are not just to their work. That was the exact reason I said that every time someone calls me an influencer, I go back and correct them. Because I know that there's a lot not right in this field. I wish I could change that. I wish I could create maybe a university course out of it. So people are more responsible before they think to influence, because to influence is a very powerful place. You cannot take that lightly.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a social community creator and I'm very happy being one.
Oh, that's great. So one thing people don't know about you, and what I knew and why I wanted to get you on the show, is of all your philanthropic pursuits.
Yes.
Specifically the Love Charity, the Charitable Foundation.
Absolutely.
I think that is amazing. And you know, in my intro, I said how much giving and seva, what it does to your soul, to your body, to your mind, the whole feeling. And of course, it's not just for selfish reasons. It's a whole like cosmos.
Yes.
You know, everything is like in a circle.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the
Oh my God, that's a topic
yeah.
I can talk for days. That's the reason I breathe. That's the reason I live. And I'm so happy it found me, honestly. I always believe seva is not something that you can choose. Seva chooses you. And I believe this very, very highly. And I have seen this belief get reiterated again and again and again around me. So to be selected to be able to do seva, I think is the highest form of purpose on earth. You know, it came my way. It came through a failure in my way, in fact. One door shut. I went into depression and I was like, how am I ever going to come out of this? Because I had not seen such a major failure till that point in my career. But thank God, those 6 months of depression and locking myself in the house led to me asking myself the right questions. It led to me asking me, what am I born for? What do I really want to do out of my life? What is the legacy I'm going to leave behind? And not I as in I knew I'm an instrument of the universe. So what work am I doing of the universe? And when I kind of dug deep on those points, that's where the birth of the NGO happened. And then I met like-minded people, high vibrational people, because I always believe if you are not vibrating at a high frequency to be a part of Seva also lets you go. A lot of people have come, a lot of people have gone, a lot of friends have supported and then not supported, and nothing of that affects me. Because for me, they're not supporting me. It's not a person anymore. You're supporting the work of the universe. And then you're deciding not to support it. Completely fair. It's your journey. You need to see it on your way. I'm detached from the outcome. But for me, With Love Charitable Foundation is a Gurukul, essentially. It is a place that transforms you. It is a place that is there to help you grow, to help you realize, to do the inner work, along with Seva, along with understanding what the community requires, being a voice for that community who just cannot bring their problems up front.
Is it one particular school or is it?
No, we're working very holistically.
Okay.
We are more like a bridge between the giver and the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
We realize there are a lot of people who can give. There are a lot of people who need help. But no one is able to merge that gap. Also, why they're not able to merge the gap is because trust issues. I realized that was one of the key things people were speaking. I want to help, I want to give, I have resources, I have money. I don't trust. Is it really going to the right place? Is it really bringing that kind of difference? That kind of started becoming the talk. And we said, we'll bridge this. So the top, I would say the objective of the NGO is transparency. And we pride ourselves on that. We are completely, as in more than 100% transparent, right? From our books of accounts to what happens at the charity office, our audits, everything is perfect. And that was something we realized we will never ever deviate from.
But you concentrate on kids.
We concentrate more on kids.
Yes.
So we concentrate on the kids from marginalized communities, kids who are suffering, say, from diabetes, kids who are suffering from abusive homes, and a lot of labor camps. So what we realized is constantly we were getting pulled towards the section of kids. And that's what we did. We surrendered. We said, let's see where this goes. Let's not just say we will help only kids. We will help only women. Let's not do that. Because Seva is boundless. Like, how can you say, no, I'm just going to help this, right? So our tagline is, where there is need, there is with love.
I see. Okay.
Yes, that's what we do. If there's a need, we'll try to fulfill it. If we can't, we'll connect you to an NGO who can fulfill it. But we'll try our best not to let any need that reaches us go unfulfilled.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
When I've seen pictures, I've only seen kids, so that's why I'm asking.
Yes, it's just somehow we've been rotating around them, and then we realized maybe that's our calling, maybe that's what this NGO is specifically supposed to do, and why not? They are the future. So if I'm getting to invest in that, brilliant.
Yeah, and I have to ask you, how do you get detached? You're detached from your the numbers, and then I think that's a skill in itself.
It must have taken me a long time.
Yeah, you must have worked toward that.
Yes, it was like a muscle I had to build. I didn't have it, and especially me, like the people who know me know how vested I am as an individual in relationships and spaces and careers. Like oh my God, like I get too attached. I'm such a giver that I don't realize how much energy of me is just going one way. So for me to hold that back, to detach from situations, outcomes, people, has not been easy. But detachment doesn't mean I don't like you. It of course doesn't mean that. It just means that what you do does not affect me. All the good you do is not going to affect me after a point. What harm you do to me is not going to affect me after a point. I'm detached from you in that manner. Why? I realized that happened only when I started filling my cup really well. When I was satisfied with who I am as a person, I realized like self-love and detachment, I think go very much in hand in my life.
Right. The
more I was looking after myself, giving myself the love I deserve and saying, of course, I deserve it, versus having a doubt. Do I deserve it? So that shift of mindset that I had from doubt to deserving, filling my own cup, then everyone else is the cherry on the cake. I'm the cake. So it's very easy to detach, Rita.
That's wonderful.
You leave me alone also, I'm very happy. You put me in a group of people, I'll manage myself. You know, because you are not validating me anymore. Your presence, your absence, your words, what you say about me, good, bad, ugly, your validation does not change who I am only, because I'm happy with who I am. And that happiness comes when you do work with intent. That work could be your meditation in the morning, it could be yoga on the mat, or it could be seva. Whatever. I'm happy with what I'm doing to fill my cup.
So, Dimple, I want to ask you a few questions about
Yeah.
social media and philanthropy.
Okay.
So,
sure.
how can social media help philanthropy? How can it benefit?
It's a blessing. Oh my God. I love social media because I'm using it for the right reasons. I know there's a lot of talk about how negative it is and how people are overdoing it and things. It's fine. I know for me, and especially for the NGO, it's a blessing because everything has now become available at the click of a button. Everyone who wants to contribute does not have to think twice, doesn't have to travel, doesn't have to come check. Everything is available. And by social media, even WhatsApp, the digital world, our QR codes for payments, it's helping us so much today versus imagine bank transfers and cash payments. I feel like now when we put out a post, and honestly, I'm so thankful and I really want to take this opportunity to thank my audience. They've supported us beautifully, Rita. And it's all because of social media. We put up a project, we put out the need of the project, and within 3 days, I have the need fulfilled. I mean, that wouldn't even happen.
Yeah.
Like, I am so blessed that I am running an NGO during an era where social media is so big.
Yes,
I love it.
That's true.
One post, I'm able to mobilize resources. One post, I'm able to mobilize finance. People are spreading awareness for us. People are forwarding the post ahead if they can't help. That is help. The fact that you looked at a post, you couldn't contribute, but you sent it to 5 more people. I am so grateful to everybody, and I touch wood, but there is not a single project that's unfulfilled in With Love NGO. Only because we go out, we tell our audience, and then the minute it's done, we go back and share all the pictures, videos, impact, everything with them.
Wow.
And tomorrow if someone reaches out personally to me, I can share all the accounts. Because everything is so
transparent
and diligently kept record of. That's something that, so a lot of times people are like, what are you so busy with? And I'm like, you don't even know what happens behind the scenes. Well, so I put my daughter off to sleep. There's an entire accounting I'm doing literally daily. Because I want to be like that. I want to be diligent. I'm responsible for the audience's money. I'm responsible for where the money is going and is it creating the right impact? And if it's not, I need to question myself. So for me to learn and grow, this is a very important process. So social media is a top blessing for us. And then me also having my profile public, me also having that kind of basic recognition is helping. It's helping to build trust, to build transparency, to use 2 pages now to bring in the funds and the resources. So why not?
Yeah. No, I work with a few NGOs and they actually have training specifically for NGOs how to use social media because they're not always.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I know you you don't want to be known as an influencer.
Yes.
But the influencers out there
Yes.
that are known as influencers,
Yes.
do they have an obligation to do something good, something charitable or something? Do you think they do? Because they have the influence. They have that power.
Let me say this, what I really believe in. I feel all of us are influencers then. Each one of us has this moral responsibility to be talking good, supporting one cause, one small action. Of course, influencers have it much more because they have public profiles, they have a lot of audiences, a lot of followers. So the responsibility increases, in fact. Technically, it's everybody's responsibility. We all are connected. I can't alone do the work. The community, if one community gets uplifted, all of us benefit. People are not understanding how this pyramid is working, but we all are connected. So I think, first of all, it's everybody's responsibility. But with influencers, I feel support something now. I'm not saying start an NGO. I'm not saying support a huge cause. One small little thing we all can do. See, I feel when a lot of eyes are looking at you, they are looking at what you are looking at. So what you are looking at needs to be very responsible. So if You can talk about other things. You can enjoy your life. I'm not taking away anything. But in the middle of that, if you can just talk about a small cause, something you believe in, it could be maybe just food for animals. Everything doesn't have to be for humans. Anything that is dear to you, speak. You don't know who is hearing, who is watching, what influence it's creating. And even if one person changes because of that, I take it as a win.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. You know, you've spoken so well, and you have that wonderful presence, and everything looks rosy. But I know from as offline how when our discussions, can you tell us like what roadblocks you've had, what problems you might have had along the way, in both developing the charity as well as your.
You know, the old me, the me 2 years back would have said yes, a lot of roadblocks, yes, a lot of trouble, a lot of failures. But just because I have worked so much on myself, Rita, that today I don't even feel like calling them roadblocks. Honestly, every time I get hit by a so-called roadblock, for me it's like, okay, lesson, thank you God. Tell me which success, which happy moment has taught you something. Very rare. All the lessons, all the teachings, all who we transform into happens only from a low point, happens from a failure, small failure, big failure. That I'm not defining the failure. But yes, all lessons only come from that. So I now do not look at failures as failures. I look at a failure. The immediate word replacement in my brain goes like lesson. It's come to teach me. Am I willing to learn? Like I said, for me, the NGO is a gurukul. Am I willing to learn? Is the question. Am I willing to get transformed, or I just want to be rigid? So I start surrendering and I start flowing, seeing that, okay, I allow you to teach me. So it doesn't feel like a roadblock anymore. Yes, if you want me to spell it out, there have been issues. I'll tell you, especially with the NGO, we started in 2016. The month our NGO got registered, it was so funny. Almost the same week, there was an entire article, headlines in the newspaper about approximately 170 NGOs shutting down.
Oh.
And why? Because the charity office had done checks on them and they weren't following the norms. The first thing that happened was panic. Panic in people who contribute to NGOs. And then you've come up just at that time and they're like, you know, it was more like that. People weren't looking at us with trust because it was not us. It was the panic. That was the situation in Pune that time. So we were like, we've just stepped in and we've stepped into people not trusting NGOs. So building that became really important. But see, that time felt like a roadblock. But today, the fact that I told you I pride on my transparency comes from that.
Yeah,
right?
It probably helped you at that point.
I was so firm now, okay, I will do this then I will do this, then I have to do this. Had that pressure not been there, had that roadblock not been there, I would have also perhaps done it well, but not been so particular about it. Now I'm so particular and it's working for me. So that's how roadblocks are. They come to teach you something beautiful, and in the long run, it's always helped. It's just that you can't see it at that time. But there were a lot of challenges. Even today, a lot of people are like, okay, but where will my money go? So trust, NGO, transparency, finance, the right impact, these will, I think, always be things you'll have to prove. Not wanting to sound boastful here, but I need to add that people thrive on validation. Maybe I don't, but the people who are working, contributing to an NGO, of course want validation. And I think finally our work paid off, and last year we got a validation. And I would call this more public validation because we got 2 recognitions last year.
Yes, you won those awards.
Yeah,
yes.
And they came very, very organically. It was literally, both these episodes have happened in our life extremely organic, and I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't working towards it at all. One was we got awarded by the Commissioner of Pune Police for the vibrant life we are bringing in Pune. This means you're trying to find the positive in the chaos. And second was the Reliance Foundation backed us.
Oh, wonderful.
They vetted us, they went through all our documents, and they supported us.
Congratulations.
Yes. So we realized that, and after that I've seen a big shift. People are now trusting easily. So it's okay. They wanted the validation. So when Reliance Foundation vets you, the validation has come,
Great.
Yeah. So roadblocks, but everything has turned out magical, honestly. It's
That's
okay.
wonderful, Dimple.
Yeah.
So my last question is, how do you take care of yourself? What is your self-care routine?
My self-care routine is not external. I am not someone who can do skincare and stuff like that. It's just not me as a person. I only believe in inner self-care. So my morning meditations are my anchor. I cannot do without them. And my yoga, my daily practice of yoga is very, very important. My walks barefoot in the grass is another thing that really helps me. Mm-hmm. I think physically it's keeping me very well, even if I can't see that instant. It's a great go-to for me when I've had a tough day, especially. I feel like it's again filling my cup. It's I do talk to Mother Earth. I do tell her that today this has happened and I want you to release this energy into the ground. You can look after this negative energy better than me. Or if I'm feeling anger, anxiety, I go back to nature. Mm-hmm. Full moon time, I am sitting moon bathing. This is just who I've become now, because when I spoke about filling my cup,
yes,
for the reason of detachment, I realized who will fill my cup. I cannot rely on other human because I want to make them the cherry on my cake. So I started reaching to nature, and nature started filling my cup. Be it the sun, the moon, watering the plants, sitting by the trees and talking, hugging the trees. I realize the more I'm doing this, the more better I'm becoming as a person also. It's bringing a lot of changes in me, and then the universe is saying, okay, you're my instrument, and the work happens through me. So for me, nature essentially is my self-care.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been an amazing conversation. I thank you.
Not at all.
Where can the audience find you? You as well as your love life.
Yes. So basically, to reach out to me personally, my handle is Yoga and Fairy Life on Instagram. That's what I'm wearing today as well. A little reminder to myself. And for reaching out to With Love Charitable Foundation, of course, I'm also medium. You can reach out to me and connect. We have a website. We also have an Instagram page, and maybe in the caption we can put the details.
Yes, I'll put all the details in the show notes.
Great.
Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
It was lovely.